All right, all right. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Here, I'm gonna talk about New World and the changes they are trying to implement. They have it on the test servers they have, and they put this dude actually, Bloodmax 2, put this on the forums. So shout out to him for doing that. We're gonna go over it and talk about just a little bit of what I think. This is very interesting, but yeah, let's get right into it. So I would not be reading line by line what they did with all these weapons. I just gonna tell you overview of what they did to each one of them. And the summary of this is as follow. Melee buffed, range down, nerfed. That's the summary. So let's get into it. And then I will tell you what I think about it. And I will tell you what I plan on doing if this goes through. And a lot of people do the same, believe me. So Hammer, they buffed it total. Uh, they increase buff, decrease stuff, reduce cooldown, base damage increase, all that, right? They buffed it. Swords, they buffed it. Damage buffed, cooldown reduced, and we can extend it 6 seconds. Hatchet, they buffed it. The debuff increased, cloud duration increased, HP debuff duration upgraded 15 seconds, and reduced cooldown of rending. Spear buffed, damage increased, buff damage increased, each hit increased, increased 10% per second on the bleed, 20%, right? Oh, down. Potion shot cooldown reduced. That's well, they buffed that. So now potion shot has 5-second cooldown reduced. The damage nerfed. This is one thing I don't really agree with. Check this out. Potion shot can no longer headshot. What do you mean? What do you mean? If I'm skilled enough to use the bow and hit somebody in the face with it, should be a headshot. What? What do you mean I can no longer do it? That I don't agree with. I don't even use the bow. I have never used it. I have 0 points on this. But why? This is something common sense. This should be. It's a headshot. It's a headshot. I mean, you could reduce the damage of the headshot, right? Why don't you do that? Rain of arrows, reduced radius, and cooldown shatter. This is like a nerfed. The whole thing I'm talking about. It's a nerfed and a buff at the same time. So they did a couple of things. The one I don't agree with is this. It's a headshot. It's a headshot. Reduce the amount of damage or whatever you want to do to it. But if it's a problem, right? Like getting a headshot is too easy with a bow. Musket. Damage increased. Cooldown reduced. Cooldown reduced. Cooldown reduced. Musket. Buff. That's the range. That's the only range weapon, I think. They buffed. So, good for them. Rapier. They buffed it all around. That was good because Rapier wasn't the best. So they buffed it. Well done. Um, Fire Staff. Yeah, let me tell you something. I'm a Fire Staff user. All right. I like range play style, right? I don't like the melee weapons in any video game. I always go for the wizard range kind of style. What they did to the Fire Staff is insane. Insane. They nerfed it to the ground. So this is, and I'm gonna focus on the first line right away, right? Fireball can no longer crit. That goes back to the bow skill, right? Can no longer headshot. What you mean I can no longer crit? If it's a crit, it's a crit. So this is one of the main skills we use. Um, it's not easy to land fire attacks, fire staff attacks, like the main heavy attacks and the lightweight attacks. So this is one that when you're fighting from far, you could actually land it under the location and get a hit. So now you can no longer crit. That is a problem. They nerfed that shit way too much right there. Way too much. You're not getting a direct hit with this MP. Just throwing it on the ground so you can get multiple hits. You get a direct hit if it's like 20 people on a spot and you just throw it and hit somebody. But then they nerfed everything about this thing. So I'm not gonna read through it, but it's just nerfed all around. Yeah, they destroyed the fire staff. Let's go to the ice gauntlet. The ice shower. Hi Amazon. I think you should stop reading all these crybabies about range weapons, right? And pay more attention of what works and what doesn't work. For example, this ice shower went from 20-second cooldown, 30-second. The ice shower is the wall that you put, right? If I'm not mistaken, that's the wall, right? Yeah, the wall that you put, and people get rooted, right? But guess what? So stupid, because if you jump, you will come out of the wall. If you roll, you will pass right through it. So there's no reason whatsoever to nerf this at all. So now 30 seconds, you know how 30 seconds is? It's a long ass time. So now the only skill that you have to root people is 30-second cooldown. And you, like I just said, you can root them and they can come out of it by jumping. So that skills is pretty much useless as it was. I mean, whatever. Wind chill, 20%. They buffed that, like 4%. Buff crit damage reduced by 5%. The ice storm damage ticks 3 times instead of 4. That's nerfed. Ultimate chill nerf 35% to 25% damage. So heavy freeze. That's when you have somebody in the ice storm and you hit them with a heavy attack, it freezes them. Now it has a 5-second cooldown. Once again, you can just jump out of it. Useless now. And life staff. They nerfed the life staff. And it is what it is, right? They fucked this shit up too. So overprotection, they nerfed it. The heal from this, nerfed, 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 nerfed. Yeah, whatever. Then we have some other crap over here. So my thoughts real quick on this. So they were saying, for example, right? I'm gonna go with the 5 staff because that's what I use, right? And I'm gonna use these 2 samples because what they did was they really much nerfed every um long range weapon except for the musket, I think it was. Anyways, so they said this thing was kind of strong. Let's say the fire staff. It hits hard. So fine. If it hits hard, it's doing a little bit more damage than the other weapons. Why don't you buff these weapons like you did, right? And leave this alone. Or if anything, nerf one or two things. You cannot buff all the melee stuff and destroy all the other ranged weapons, because now it's gonna be super unbalanced the other way around. You understand? Before, if you fought a life staff, if you fought a fire staff, okay, we hit hard. But at the same damn time, if you fought anybody with a hammer, for example, right? They have 100cc stuff, right? 1,000,000 cc's. So if that guy catches you, you're done. Pretty much dead. Now they nerfed it way too much, and they buffed everything. So they didn't make it even. They would have made that even if they would have buffed all the melee to be equally in damage, or whatever you want to put it as, to the fire staff. And then everybody will be equal, right? But now they just destroy the fire staff and super buffed all the melee. So same thing with the ice gauntlet. It's a wrap for that. What this gonna make me do is stop playing the game until they turn it around. Because I don't like playing with melee weapons. And a lot of people say, "Oh, stop crying about that." It's not about that. It's the fact that it's a way of like giving your opinion. I'm not gonna play a game that I'm not enjoying. So I'm gonna go out there in the world and do some PvP. It's not even about PvP only. PvE action. But look what it does now. My thing is useless. My fire staff in PvE. So I'm not gonna use this fire staff. Definitely not gonna be using this. So what the hell am I gonna use? I'm gonna be forced to play with melee weapons because I don't like the bow, and that's how it goes. So I'll take a nice break if this goes through like it is, right? I'll take a nice break, and whenever they decide to fix stuff the way they're supposed to fix it with the ranged weapons, then I'll come back and check it out and talk about it again. But this is supposed to go through in like 2 weeks, I guess I heard, but I'm not sure. That's the way it is. Congrats to the melee people. I feel sorry for the range people. Keep enjoying the game before this goes live, and we'll talk about it again when it happens to see where we at that point. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more, and let's go.